Alrighty, so yesterday's video, we talked about the kind of negatives that Dokkan has to offer and stuff like that, talking about changes that I think that would make the game better. Not entirely negative, but there were some negative aspects to the video. Today, I'm going to be telling you why I think Dokkan in 2024, specifically June of 2024, is in the best state that it has ever has been. Now, I know some of you are nostalgic, you might argue for certain years, you know, a lot of people like the 7th anniversary and stuff like that. But in my opinion, this transition period into the 9th anniversary, as well as the sync for Global Dokkan, is going to be indicative of the best period that we've ever had with Dokkan. Now, why is this, right? Like, why am I making this claim? Well, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? First and foremost, it's that damn 9th anniversary, right? It's so good. The characters that we get are so good. The EZAs that we get are so well done. The content is super fun, it's super difficult, and that is really what kind of makes up a good celebration in this game, in my opinion. Something that you can latch onto, have a good time, be rewarded for having older characters, and also be summoning for the best of the best in the game. Now, someone like Beast Gohan, I'm sure you guys have heard about Beast Gohan and how good he is ad nauseum at this point, but if you have not, allow me to introduce you to this LR right here. He is far and away the best unit in the game, and he is going to be available during the 9th anniversary of Part 2. I'll probably make a video explaining why he's so good closer to when he comes out, but just know that this character is the best character in the game right now, and he's going to be the main prize of that 9th anniversary. And then we also have this character right here, Super Saiyan Gogeta, with a super awesome art who transforms into Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. He's going to be coming out during the 9th anniversary as well. So we also have fan favorites, you know, fan favorites galore, and then maybe you're not your favorite character, but the Gamma's a super nice looking LR, and they are also very good. And then we also have another fan favorite in Full Power Broly. So that is the reason why I think this anniversary is easily the best one they've done. You have a ticket multi that's going to be giving you the best chance to pull some of these characters. More on that later, not even in this video, but more down the line, and that is going to be a contributing factor as well as to why this game is so good right now. Something else, I think that we are starting to reach a point where the numbers are getting absolutely insane, and that makes for a very fun gameplay experience when you're seeing characters reach, you know, 15 million, 20 million, 25 million attack stats with relative ease. I think that is a lot of dopamine that you get from seeing an attack stat like that, compared to the days of like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million being like insane, and a character hitting like 9 million was like the apex of the game, right? And we're kind of long past those days, but we've even reached a point now where it's like it's a whole other tier, right? Like I said, 20 million, 30 million, like we're starting to see numbers of that caliber, and I think that overall makes for a more fun experience. Now, is it easy to get these numbers? No, you have to set things up right, you need to have dupes, you got to do all these fun things, but it's still not like the most improbable or impossible thing ever to get, and that's why I think it's so cool, right? So another contributing factor, right? And also, the next thing that I want to talk about is the innovation that the gameplay is bringing these days. I think that there is a lot of things that the game is doing that is new compared to other things, right? We kind of went on a bit of a stretch where every difficult boss fight kind of felt the same, just different typings, different numbers of attack stats, and it kind of got a little bit tiresome because the cycle of the game was, you know, sort of just release a boss, and how hard the boss is how hard the boss is hitting. The numbers are cranked up, they're not really having any gimmicks and stuff like that, but we've kind of reached the point of that not being a thing anymore, and we're starting to see, and I went into a fight specifically that does this, where the boss is going to start having more unique gimmicks. And the unique gimmick of this boss, I don't know if you see it, but at the start of every turn there's like a flash of red, and the boss is taking away your HP without attacking you. And that is something that is new, right? In the there's a Kid Buu Red Zone fight that's after this. We won't get to that in this video because this stage is going to take longer than this video will be. But in the second phase of that fight, you are essentially buffing the enemy by attacking them. So if you hit them, their attack goes up, right? So super cool stuff and more innovative boss fight things that are going on, right? We have more fights with countdowns that give you a bit of a timer to a super attack that is more than likely going to take you out, but if you can exploit that timer and get around it, then you don't have to deal with it. And that's what I think is so cool about the latest state of the game that is making the fights a lot more fun, because unique boss gimmicks are something that the community was asking for a long time, where the sign of the hardest boss in the game essentially was just a unit that does an AoE, and if you don't know what an AoE is, it is essentially an attack that is hitting all of the characters on the field. So in this specific turn, we have Ultra Instinct Goku, we have Evolution Blue Vegeta, and then we also have LR Gogeta Blue. And if Boo tanks were to do a super, or not a super, but an AoE, it would hit all of the enemies with that specific attack. So it would go 1, 2, 3, all the characters would take damage. And that was sort of like one of the most unique things is that a boss could do. And now we've kind of moved on from, well, it still exists, and that does make a boss super difficult. But we now have new gimmicks. Like you can see right here, this Boo Tanks is taking my HP, and that is something that the game is doing. So you can see why is it the best state it's ever been in. The bosses are starting to be more creatively done. There's more unique variety in gameplay in terms of the length of fights. Not every fight is super long. Not every fight is super short. And that, I think, all in all, is going to make for a more fun experience playing the game. And you have something to look forward to for rewarding difficult fights that are also not just boring. They just feel like extensions of quest mode or something in terms of what you're doing, where it's like you actually need to mentally kind of plan out your attack strategy and think about these things as you're going through the fight. And that's why I think it is super fun. And difficult content is always going to be something that's tricky, but it is a good time, and that is the most rewarding content in my opinion to beat. So that's my kind of long tangent about difficult content, but I think it was worth talking about, right? So the next thing, it is very beginner friendly now. I'm sure a lot of you are either coming from a game like Legends, which is also pretty generous and beginner friendly, or you played this game 7 years ago or something and there was not much to do, and you were doing multi-summons with no guaranteed SSR and stuff like that. So you do like 50 stones, you wouldn't get an SSR, you're like, this is some nonsense, and you put the game down. We are long gone from those days. In case you aren't aware, and I'm sure 99% of you are, but you know, I like to make videos for the 1% too. Every multi-summon now, unless stated otherwise, has a guaranteed SSR in it. So this is going to help you avoid those pesky waste of stone multis that are much more common towards the end of the game when you have a lot of the characters. But when you're just starting out, you're not going to have to worry about pulling a character that you have literally zero usage for. Especially if you're brand new, every multi-summon is going to be bringing value, and I think that is super nice for a newer player, a beginner player, and the grind is not as tedious as it once was. The Ginyu Force teams, the free-to-play Ginyu Force teams, the free-to-play Bardock teams, those events just got revamped so that you no longer have to play the event over 150 times to get it done. For quest mode, you only have to play the hardest difficulty once, and you will get credit for clearing all of the difficulties at once, so you don't need to play each stage 2 to 3 times. It is just a nice time saver that you can't go underappreciated, and I think that is going to really help people as time goes on. All right, well, go ahead and dodge this for us, UI Goku. Thank you. I'm playing this one live as I'm doing this. And so, with all of these quality of life and UI changes and stuff like that, it makes for a really fun experience playing this game now. And I think that is why I think it's in the best state that it's ever been. I think the hype is there. I think that the community is there. I think the dev resources are there because the animations are better than ever. You know, these anniversaries are super exciting, and it just really does make for a good time. Now, sort of the last thing before we get out of here, and why I think that this is the best time to play the game, and why you should pick it up as soon as possible if you have not already. We are going to be going under what is known as the version sync within the summer of 2024. We're almost to the beginning of summer. As I'm recording this, it's June 6th, so we're a couple weeks out from officially being summer, but when we get to that point, we are going to be syncing up the schedules between the Japanese version, which is the version you're seeing right now, and then the international or global version that most people are going to be playing because it is the easier version to play. And especially if you're someone who hasn't played the game before, I highly recommend playing the version that you can read. If you can read Japanese, then play it. But I'm assuming most of you cannot read Japanese. If you can, congratulations. But again, playing the global version, we are going to be on the same schedules. So the anniversaries are going to be shared. Every single celebration from whenever they do the sync onwards are going to be shared and same time celebrations. So the hype is always going to be, exponentially multiplied by just simply the amount of people that are going to be playing the game, covering the game, talking about it. And that's why I think right now would be the best time to pick up the game, because it's going to be super exciting. And it clearly, the devs and the team has clearly shown that they are committed to making the game more, they're adding a lot of new mechanics that the game has never seen before. The user interface still needs a little bit of work, right? There's a couple symbols that are a bit confusing, and it can be a bit overwhelming for the amount of information that is thrown at you. But the beauty of it is, There's a very wide community of this game that can answer any question that you may have. There's probably a Google search that's going to have an answer for you. There are going to be guide videos. I make those all the time on the channel, and that is why I think right now is the best time to play Dokkan Battle, and it is in the best state that it ever has been. So let me know down below what you guys think. Is Dokkan taking its biggest W yet? I think this is the best time to play the game. You know, you could argue there's some nostalgia for periods in the past, but right now, I'm going to go ahead and go on the record and say right now, in my opinion, is the best time to play the game. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this positive video where I'm discussing all the things I like about the game and all of that fun stuff. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new so you don't miss out on any of the Dokkan content that I post. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.